It's Butler and Seton Hall here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and early Happy New Year with Scott Sudagoff. I'm Will Haskett. So happy that you could be with us for this one. All right, Scott, two teams on the rise in the Big East the last couple of seasons. Butler last year exceeding expectations, third in the league. Seton Hall building into what promises to be a special season. These are two teams that really tested themselves in the non-conference to see where they are in this first game of the Big East.
Yeah, definitely. Two very talented teams. Going to be interesting to see how they match up. You mentioned the non-conference season. Both teams were very well tested, both coming in on a two-game winning streak after kind of that marquee game that they each lost. Butler against Indiana, Seton Hall against UConn. But right now, both teams are almost 100% healthy and split their matchups last year, so looking forward to a good one here today.
Seton Hall preseason pick to finish third in the Big East. Butler finished third a season ago, preseason pick to finish seventh. A lot of that have to do with the fact they'd replaced so much of their scoring punch. In fact, four of their top five scorers for Butler this season are newcomers. But for Seton Hall, you know where the scoring is going to come from with this team. The reigning Big East scoring champion, Shadeen Samuels, the senior, the preseason player of the year. You know that's what's going to happen there as you take a look at the keys of the game for the Pirates.
Yeah, for Seton Hall, Coach Pozzella just said box out better. He said we're not a good boxing out team, have to rebound better, limit those live ball turnovers to not allow easy run-out baskets for Butler. And we'll switch over and look at Butler's keys in a moment here. And, get comfortable on defense basically means, learning to play with your teammates, moving your feet better. Again, you mentioned
forcing turnovers from the opposition. Perfect start for Butler. Samuels looks to distribute, and Lewis missing on the three. And it's another one and done for Seton Hall on the offensive side.
One of the keys I didn't have a chance to point out was, Butler's zone defense going to leave a lot of three-pointers available for Seton Hall, but can't get three happy. Have to get to the basket still. That was a good shot, though. That was wide open there for Lewis.
Spolier gives up the shot, feeds the post, but dribbling it off the foot was Toure. Butler somehow gets it back. Atusa, good recognition by Bryce. Spolier left wide open. And a quick timeout by head coach Anthony Bozzella. He has seen enough. Butler just explodes out of the blocks to take the early lead.
They're getting the open shot there. Spolier, 35% three-point shooter. And obviously the defense turning to easy offense for the Bulldogs, and this layup by Spolier.
Could not have scripted a better start if you are Butler in this one for Kurt Godlewski. And with a 9-0 start, Butler in command here just in the early moments of this game.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
A perfect start for Butler, making all 4 of its shots from the floor, a 9-0 spurt, prompting Seton Hall to burn its first timeout very early in this first quarter. With Scott Sudegoff, I'm Will Haskett. Started the Big East women's basketball season, and you could not have scripted a better start for those in white, Scott, to begin this game.
Yeah, Kirk Godlewski has to be very happy with the way things have started in this game. And, you know, we talked to him pregame, and he really hammered home the idea that his team still has to learn to play together a bit better as this Big East season gets started. We've already talked about all the turnover that the program has had an unfortunate injury at the start of the season with talented freshman Tenley Dowell. And so, you know, still finding that rhythm and, plenty of rhythm in the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds in this one.
And Seton Hall, the more veteran of the two teams in terms of Spolier. Got it to Toure. Drives and runs right over Desiree Elmore. Offensive foul. Turnover gives the ball back to Seton Hall, who have settled down here in this first quarter after the rocky start.
Good job by Elmore sliding the feet, getting in front of Toure there. The right call made.
Just enough of an extension there of the right arm of Toure. Now Seton Hall looking for back-to-back buckets. And Parker read that pass. Tipped. It should be last touch by Seton Hall. It is. And another turnover as Bozzella pleading with his leader, Barbara Johnson, for why that pass needed to happen.
Just a couple of lazy passes here in the opening of this game, leading to the turnovers.
And it'll lead to another substitution. McKenna Hofschild comes in. Freshman from Prior Lake, Minnesota, who's played in just 5 games this season. Right now, Bozzella looking for somebody that can run the ship right out on the court offensively for Seton Hall.
Yeah, 5 games, 10 minutes a game, so early play for her.
Bry couldn't get the handle, and then Spolier commits the foul trying to recover. And we mentioned both of these teams will turn the basketball over. Butler gives it away 18 times a game and still have a positive turnover margin on the year. Seton Hall will turn it over nearly 16 times a game, but their defenses tend to make up for the fact that their offenses don't take care of the basketball as well. Three-pointer is drained by Alexis Lewis, and that's a 6-0 spurt by Seton Hall to get right back into it early.
It's exactly what Coach Bozzella told us he needs Lewis to do, is just shoot better. A graduate student, doesn't have to deal with the classes anymore and wants her to refocus on her shot.
Drive, but a short arm miss by Toure, or I should say by Atuso. And now Seton Hall with another long ball could tie it right back up. Johnson, though, dribbled it off the foot.
Excellent job by the Butler defense getting back in transition, as the Pirates can be deadly transition offense. And they all got back in time and forced a turnover as well.
3 turnovers here in the early going for the Pirates. Long range shot. Toure too strong. And the rebound cleared by Samuels. Hofschild trying to run it quickly. And that pass just forcing the issue to Elmore, who is yet to put up a shot in this one. Desiree Elmore, who averages 16, has scored in double figures in 9 of 10 contests this year. Trying to get it to their leading scorer. But the fourth giveaway.
Coach Bozzello was looking for a foul there. Thought that Elmore got a little shove in the back as that ball was being entered in.
Gattuso through 2 defenders, forced the action. Had it blocked away. Butler picks up with some full heat, and then Horschild unable to save it. So another turnover, make it 5 now for Seton Hall.
The only difference with the last couple of turnovers is that they've been dead ball turnovers, not allowing Butler to get an easy layup on the other end.
Butler's missed 3 straight since starting perfect from the floor. Genesis Parker works around his screen. That was a wild effort, but it'll stay here. Parker not known necessarily as a dead-eye shooter off the bounce, more of a slasher, driver, creator on the floor, which has been a good balance between her and Spolier, although Parker has shot it very well in this her redshirt junior year after transferring in from Cincinnati. Forced that pass. Lewis then bounces it off of Bry out of bounds. And Butler gives the ball right back. This game has gotten very sloppy here midway through this first quarter.
Excellent play there by Lewis, though, the team leader in steals.
Boy, Bry read that one and almost forced it away. And now Anthony Bozzella can only look at, is there anybody out there that can control the basketball at the point, as Hofschild's lucky to have another crack at it here on this possession.
Yeah, long distance passes like that, or some lazy passes that we've seen really put the Pirates back offensively, not be able to get things going, except for that 6-point spurt that they're on still.
Samuels drew the D again. Lewis couldn't connect for a second time. Samuels fought to keep it alive. That leaves a wide open wing 3, but it's missed by Jackson. And they'll get a third reset on this possession. Both coaches really worried about defensive rebounding and second chance opportunities. Hofschild drew the defense. Samuels couldn't hold it. 5 to shoot. Jackson, second time the charm on that possession, and the Pirates have knotted it up.
Well, again, they don't want to get 3 happy, but if you move the ball around the perimeter like that against the zone defense, you're going to get those open shots. And she had back-to-back open looks from the same spot, able to make that second one.
Parker trying to drive, nudged in the back by McKenna Hofschild. Her first foul, and that will allow Butler to substitute a few, as will Seton Hall. First look for Nida Caceres and for Kat Strong for Butler, while Selena Falaxi will enter for the first time for Seton Hall. Lauren Park Lane also back on the floor for Seton Hall to run the point and apply the defensive pressure against Parker. Spolier had position. They didn't get to him, so they rip around the corner, and Atuso able to knock down the triple.
Nice quick release on that catch and shoot. Didn't allow a lot of time for the defense to close out on her.
Good entry pass, but Falaxi short-armed the would-be attempt. That snapped an 0 for 4 drought for Butler, and also a long scoring drought dating back to that spurt. They went nearly 3 minutes without a field goal. Parker trying to break things down. Atuso heat check is long, and that ball will get out of bounds and belong to the Pirates.
Game of runs so far. The 9-0 run for Butler to start. 9 in a row by Seton Hall to tie it. See if these two teams can settle down into more of a back-and-forth affair as this one goes.
Good breakdown. That ball kicked as Strong got a foot on it. Seton Hall trailing by 3. 7 minutes into this first quarter, and they have gotten 0 points from either Shadeen Samuels or Desiree Elmore. In fact, they've had just 1 shot between the two of them.
I was going to say that neither one of them has had really any looks at the basket.
As we say that, Elmore drives, wild effort through 2 defenders. She wanted a foul, but she seemed to be the initiator of the contact.
Well, you got to think when she gets into the paint like that, they're going to send the defender across the lane from that zone defense, get 2 bodies on her.
Atuso trying to wait for a strong screen, couldn't get it. Spolier's been quiet. So it's a 3 capped off that early 9-0 run. Strong with the shot clock winding down. Beautiful turnaround. And what a bright spot for Butler to have Kat Strong back on the floor this year after missing the second half of the Big East season last year with a knee injury as Caceres commits the foul.
Such a smart shot, too, by Strong to catch, spin to the baseline away from where defensive help might come. And that's what a redshirt senior knows to do and makes a nice shot.
Foul was the first on Caceres. 4 of them now on Butler, so Seton Hall will be in the bonus the rest of this first quarter. Good slip off the down screen, but Jackson couldn't hit the wide open layup. And the ball ping-pongs into the hands of Strong. Caceres wants to push tempo. Parker, a little bit of an angle, forces up a wild runner with the left hand and somehow banks it in off the glass.
Parker used her strength that she has plenty of, as you could tell, and got through the 2 defenders and scored it off the glass almost with relative ease.
Her first bucket of the game, and Butler reclaims a 7-point edge. Seton Hall forced some 35 feet away from the basket to initiate offense. Park Lane finally decides to go. Drops it off. Falaxi misses everything with that one, and the ball will stay here with just 2 to shoot on the shot clock.
Yeah, just 2 to shoot because the offense, the move was made from outside of the Bulldog logo with about 8 seconds on the shot clock left. They reset the shot clock here to 20, saying that ball hit the rim. I don't think it did. You called it as missed everything, and I trust you.
It was well over the rim. There wasn't possession either by Butler.
Yeah, I think there's confusion at the table because the new rule with an offensive rebound is reset to 20. That's as long as it hits the rim, though. See what Seton Hall can draw up with 2 on the shot clock now.
And that wouldn't apply to a team offensive rebound, which is sort of what you get here on a deflection out. Forced against it, Elmore has not had many good looks in this first quarter. Butler trying to reclaim its largest lead of the quarter. Parker, wild effort, blocked away, and then wonderful recognition by Falaxi to issue that off the body of Parker and get the Pirates the ball back.
Yeah, Parker went back to the well a little bit there, trying to get a similar move off that we saw the last time down the floor.
Butler showing some zone for the first time here in the quarter. Elmore seemed like a shot in rhythm. Good offensive reset, but Falaxi again couldn't connect at point-blank range. And with the clock ticking inside a minute, Seton Hall now shooting it at a 20% clip here in the first quarter.
And again, Samuels, Elmore have combined for 3 shot attempts in total.
Strong step back and another good-looking stroke, that time from 17 feet. And Butler has doubled up the Pirates in the waning moments of this first quarter. No one steps out on Samuels. She can't connect. Fly knocks that one out of bounds as Seton Hall had a reset. And Butler's defense playing really well and getting some poor shooting, Scott, from Seton Hall's best players.
Yeah, there have been several open looks for the Pirates in general. They have just not been able to knock them down. And then obviously the combination of Elmore and Samuels scoreless here in this first quarter.
Seton Hall is 0 of 9 inside the arc. I should say 1 of 9 inside the arc in this first quarter. That one gets away from Lewis. Spolier tried to get away down court with it, and then Henley could come back and force the jump ball. Shot clock was down to 3. Now Butler will pick up with some pressure. Park Lane's going to have to heave quickly. The floater is too strong. But she's able to get the rebound away down the lane and a wild shot, but a foul called. And boy, the Pirates had almost conceded the final possession to the Bulldogs, but quick defensive hands by Lauren Park Lane will allow Femi Funis a chance to add to the Seton Hall tally here at the free throw line.
Yeah, Funis, another player like Hochschild, seeing some very early time in this game. Funis playing in just her second game of the season. Played last Friday against Lafayette.
Returned from injury in that game, and 10 points, 2 boards off the bench, and has provided Anthony Bozzella for the first time all season with his healthiest roster. He has pretty much the full allotment he expected to have to begin this Big East season, as Funis makes 1 of 2. And Butler will have 7 2/10 to try and add to the lead in what has been a good, could have been great first quarter for the Bulldogs. Parker waiting for a high screen from Bry. Gets it, drives, probes. Once contact, won't get it. That ball ends up out of bounds, and it'll be the end of the first quarter. A quarter that began with a 9-0 spurt by Butler. Seton Hall was able to get all the way back, but Butler's shooting it at 57%. They take the lead in quarter number 2.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets.
A first quarter that saw 3 different 9-0 runs. Butler with the most recent of the 3. They lead it by 8 heading into quarter number 2. With Scott Sudikoff, I'm Will Haskett. Hinkle Fieldhouse, first Big East Women's Basketball Day of the year here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. And Scott, and you look at the first quarter of action, if you're Butler, get off to a good start. Balanced scoring across the board, timely shooting. A team 57% shooting. When they shoot it well this year, Butler has won. On the opposite side for Seton Hall, 16% from the floor. And Shadeen Samuels and Desiree Elmore, who entered today, combining to score 28 points a game. A big goose egg in the game's first 10 minutes.
Yeah, Samuels is 0 of 3 from the field, missed a couple of 3-pointers, while Elmore is 0 for 2. One thing that's keeping them, right now within 8 second chance points is they've been able to get 8 offensive rebounds and score 7 second chance points out of that. So I'm sure on the Butler sideline, that was something that was talked about during the quarter break here. Hey, we're up by 8, but we're allowing way too many second opportunities. And you do the math, and well, they could have a 15-point lead if you take away all those second chance points.
Mentioned the second chance points. Good backdoor look, and Bry right to Kristen Spolier. Kurt Gajlewski dials up a perfect play call to start the second quarter, and Butler has its largest lead of the afternoon. How do the Pirates find offense? They miss on a 15-footer. Funis from the baseline. And now Butler with a chance to open up a comfortable margin here in the second quarter. Jacket comes off early for Anthony Bozzella on the Seton Hall bench. Bry, versatile team player, distributes. Atusu, good entry pass. Toure couldn't get it to go, but will head to the free throw line.
Fouls on number 15.
Two really good sets by Butler to begin the second quarter. You mentioned those second chance points, Scott, but then also the points off turnovers. Butler only turned it over 3 times in the first quarter, but it led to 6 points for Seton Hall. You see the harm there and the foul by Funes. And Toure, a 79% free throw shooter, continues to add to this Butler lead.
Player that was injured over the summer kind of derailed her involvement with the program, so maybe a bit of a late start, but she's really come on in her freshman season.
Seton Hall beats the pressure right to Jasmine Smith in the corner, just a 25% three-point shooter on the year. It's a big bucket for the Pirates as Butler tried to run up court quickly, and it was knocked out of bounds by Samuels.
And there's again, transition offense doesn't necessarily have to be off a turnover or off a rebound. It can be against a made basket like that. It just beat the defense up the floor, and that's what they did there for the three-pointer for Smith.
And the great equalizer right now, the three-point shot. 3 of the 4 field goals for Seton Hall have come from behind the arc. Tuso with plenty of time. Bry, great hesitation, better find. Phenomenal fundamentals by Butler on that possession, and Bry resets it with an offensive board off the Spolier miss. Bry with 5 to shoot. Almost a no-look pass. Didn't know where her teammate was, and now Seton Hall running again.
Yeah, I think she panicked there, saw the shot clock winding down, and as you called it, made a blind pass there in the paint.
Elmore, good strong drive, but she stays on the schneid in this game.
You like the move. It's a great quick spin move in the paint, faces the hoop, and just short-armed it.
Good backdoor look, and Spolier the recipient from Parker. They have dialed up a couple of good two-man moves here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Seton Hall flat-footed defensively on those couple of plays.
And now Elmore finally gets on the board for Seton Hall.
See if that lifts the cover for her, and then maybe when Samuels is back out there, that they can kind of keep it going now. Because we know that they're going to, one or both is going to be on the floor at all times for the most part in this game. That's going to be the strategy from Anthony Bozzella, as it should be.
Toure, a wild effort through traffic. And now the chance for the Pirates to run, but too quick with Lauren Park Lane. Turns it over, trying to find something offensively through the lane.
I think you're okay with that sequence overall, though, if you're Seton Hall. You got the first bucket by Elmore. You got a defensive stand on the other end. Then you got transition offense. You beat the defense up the floor. Just a miscue by Lauren Park Lane.
6th turnover for Seton Hall. And it was a sloppy start to the first quarter. But both teams were pretty solid at the end of it. And now Butler has been doing a good job of taking care of the basketball, especially to begin the first 3 minutes of this second quarter.
Yeah, for Seton Hall, it's just the first one of this quarter after those 5.
Spolier, strong player, almost muscled that one in and draws the contact against Samuels, and she'll head to the line for 2.
Well, we know that she's worked on her game and can go right, but if that left side is open for her, she's going to take it. And you see her able to easily roll open towards the basket and draw the foul, and now get a chance to take advantage of her 77% free throw shooting clip.
Spolier, who's had a really interesting and at some points injury-ravaged career at Butler, was a prolific scorer out of Lebanon High School, just up the road here from Indianapolis. Has had multiple knee procedures in her time at Butler, but 19 points a game. She has been everything you'd want out of a senior scoring leader this year for Butler.
And already up into double figures here this afternoon.
Parker could not keep her pivot foot. And the turnover gives it back to Seton Hall. Yeah, you mentioned Spolier, and already 11 points in this one. Erupted earlier this season against Detroit Mercy in a game where she had 37 in just the second game of the season for Butler en route to Big East Player of the Week honors. You're doing something right if you can hang 37 on any opponent around the country. Good in and out, but the 3 missed by Smith, and Butler with a one-and-done defensive rebound clearance. Operating very comfortably, Scott, here in this second quarter with the lead of the Bulldogs.
You had the 8-point lead after one, and keeping it in that 8 to 11-point range now. Even though Seton Hall has been able to find a little bit of better offense, just Butler has been able to match.
Tuso right around the defense, but flipped out, expecting someone to be top of the key. There was no one home. Ball was tipped. Shot clock, though, is going to expire. Strong could not get a handle on it. And that'll be another Butler turnover.
Yeah, no possession change there. That reset the shot clock, so Kirk Godlewski's team called for the shot clock violation there.
McKenna Hofschild, the freshman, back in running the point.
Still looking for some consistency right now and running the offense overall.
That's a good start. Good entry. Elmore finding a cutting Samuels, who has her first field goal of the afternoon.
You love when you can have a combination that can work that high-low really either way with those two players.
Good hesitation by Parker. Got it off the glass, but they'll wave it off. Elmore in position, draws the charge, paid the price for it, and Parker cannot put more points on the board.
That's the first time I think we've seen Parker drive right in this game, and the Seton Hall defense was ready for it. Elmore taking the charge. Yeah, a little more uncomfortable driving the right side of the floor, and Elmore was there waiting. May have taken a shot up in the left eye as well. She's trying to wipe her eye clear right now on the other side of the floor. Seems to be well enough to keep going.
Parker exits after the offensive foul. It was just her first. And India Fly providing the defensive resistance now in her absence. But just leaves for a second, and Hofschild is able to drain the triple. That is her first three-pointer of her Seton Hall career. It was 0 of 6 in 5 games played this year. Makes that one, and the Hall back within 6. Bry has it bounce off of her hands, tries to get it back, and now wrestling. It'll be a jump ball. It'll belong to Seton Hall, and that will be the 8th Butler turnover.
So that's 5 already here in the second half. So the script kind of flipped in that regard right now with taking care of the basketball. See 3 different Pirates down on the floor going after it.
We talked about how clean Butler was being. That's 3 consecutive trips with a turnover. Shot clock violation, offensive foul, now the giveaway by Butler. Johnson goes right around Spolier, and that's easy pickings at the rim. It's just a 4-point game now for Butler. Fly. Spolier has to be careful not to try and force something here. Instead, Strong probes. Fly walked with it. 4 consecutive trips with a turnover for Butler, and that takes us to a timeout. Seton Hall getting right back into this one with a lot of help from their opponent. Butler clinging now to a 4-point edge.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break.
1, 2, 3.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
A game in which Butler has led the entire way, including by as many as 12 here in the second quarter. But since leading it 22-10, Butler has become turnover prone, giving the ball away on 4 consecutive trips and now 9 times in the basketball game, and has breathed fresh life into the Seton Hall Pirates. With Scott Sudikoff, I'm Will Haskett. First game of this marathon Big East women's basketball season. It'll culminate in Chicago come March time. And Scott, two teams that want to learn a lot about themselves right now to see where they might be. Could this be a repeat performance for Butler, a third-place finish a year ago, or Seton Hall, which was picked at the beginning of the season to finish third? Can they rise and challenge the top of the conference? Obviously, DePaul will be very solid this year. A couple of teams with some really lofty expectations. What Marquette has done in completely rebuilding from an entire lineup, coaching staff of the like. Very interesting non-conference performance by the Golden Eagles and that program up there. It'll be a very interesting season. Talking to that man, Anthony Bozzella, before it, I think even the coaches around this league don't exactly know how this season's going to shake out, with a lot of really good depth in the middle and the top of this conference.
Yeah, we were talking with him pregame. He rolled through 4, 5, 6 teams with superlatives about them, and that it can be a very tightly contested league this season. And one thing he's certainly happy right now with his team is the fight back into this game, and it being helped out by Butler turning it over 6 times in this quarter, leading to 7 more points. So that's 13 points off of turnovers out of their 22 in this game for Seton Hall.
Johnson well defended by Atuso. 10 to shoot for Hofschad. Backdoor look, beautiful find. Elmore couldn't finish, and Spolier comes in to wrestle away the rebound.
You're right, though. That was a good look by Hofschild. And she didn't panic when she got the ball caught in her hip. She just regathered and found the cutter in the lane, just couldn't get the finish on the other end.
Tuso maybe forced that entry a bit to Toure. Now drives through the defense. Beautiful scoop underneath, and Bry missed the bunny.
They didn't have much room to fit that in.
Johnson forced the issue, had it just ripped out of her hands by Toure. Hofschild did a good job to slow Spolier's momentum. Now she drives, feeds off to Bry. Lucky Spolier didn't get called for an offensive foul. She bowled through Samuels after making that pass, but gets the assist, and Bry does not miss twice.
It's possible that the officials looked away after the pass there, didn't see it, or just saying that it didn't affect the play and let it go.
A huge shot for Butler to get back in this one, but as you say it, Maya Jackson connects from 3 and whittles it right back to a 1-possession game.
She may be the team's best defender, but you leave her open from 3, 44% on the year, she's going to get hot and knock down a bunch.
Spolier. Bry, good head fake, and she's connected twice in a row from point-blank range.
You got to love that Spolier's been the one finding her most of these times down the floor.
And they step away from Johnson. And the old hand-down, man-down from Spolier there just did not want to even challenge Barbara Johnson. Just a 27% three-point shooter, but made that one look too easy. It's a 2-point game.
Well, again, Coach Bozzella said don't get 3 happy, but they are finding some good success. They average 7 3-pointers a game. Made, that is. And they've got 6 in this one now.
Tuso missed on the other end. Seton Hall looking for some transition points. May have been a little bit too quick there for Maya Jackson.
That being said, he thinks it's a defense that Butler deploys, a zone defense that his team can still exploit, get into the paint, and that's what he means by don't get 3 happy. Obviously, if they're open and they're knocking them down, all the better.
The ball was forced away, but unable to keep it alive was Jackson on the baseline. Taking a look at it here, and just bouncing out after the left-handed attempt of a save by Jackson. Again, Butler has never trailed in this first half.
I had just that one tie at 9-9.
And Strong commits the offensive foul, trying to set a screen for Spolier. If you're Butler right now, Scott, you're shooting 55% from the floor in this half, and yet you're 1 3-pointer away from trailing in this game against Seton Hall because of the turnovers and extra opportunities given to your opponent.
Yep, turnovers, offensive rebounds, doesn't matter. You can shoot 60%, you can still lose.
And you're only up 2, and you've really held the top 2 scorers for Seton Hall completely in check here in the first half. Wild effort by Philexy. Butler in a 2-for-1 situation here, final minute of the quarter. Looking for Caceres, but Jackson had her bottled up down low and gets called for the foul.
A couple fouls to give there for the Pirates.
Her first, team's third.
Free throw shooting hasn't really been a factor on either side so far.
Caceres wants to use the size. Jackson just fell down trying to draw the contact, and Caceres made it look easy. Just used her 6'1" frame.
Yeah, Jackson hoping being the smaller player hit the floor, maybe draw that call, but officials did not bite.
Wide open in the corner to the lefty shot from Hofschild, well off. Shot clock is off. Butler can hold for 1. I don't know if Toure realizes it. Caceres certainly doesn't, and connects in the paint nonetheless. I guess if you can guarantee yourself the bucket, you take it. Now Seton Hall with the final shot of the half.
That's one of those no. Okay, that's good.
Hofschild drives into trouble. Finds Jackson in time at the horn, but just short. And the half will come to an end with Butler scoring the last 4 of the half. They never trail in the first 20 minutes of this contest and will head to the locker room with a 6-point edge.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? And we gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Halftime of the opener in this Big East women's basketball season between Butler and Seton Hall. A half of runs, and as Scott Sudikoff and I looked over these statistics before we came back from the break, things that certainly stand out for you here. Butler's shooting it great, Scott, but you look at that turnover number there, 10-6, but it's the opportunities off of those turnovers for Seton Hall that have kept them in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Butler's shooting 58% in this game to 29% for Seton Hall, but just a 6-point game. And you look at the made baskets, they're only separated by 4 because of 8 offensive rebounds for the Pirates and the 10 turnovers from Butler. That has led to 20 of Seton Hall's 28 points are either off a turnover or off an offensive rebound. Conversely, Butler only has 4 in that category between turnovers and second chance points. And that's why, at this point, Butler's winning, but only by a couple of possessions.
They never trailed in the first half, and of those 10 field goals made by Seton Hall, only 2 of them have come from Shadeen Samuels and Desiree Elmore, the leading 2 scorers. So if you're a fan of Seton Hall, you're saying to yourself right now, look, 2 buckets out of our best 2 players. We're only down 6. Maybe in a position to steal this one in the second half. More to come from Hinkle here at the half after this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Stay
all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together! This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
All right, we got to be all in, all right? We got to make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Together! That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together! This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get
Halftime between Butler and Seton Hall. First Big East contest of the year for both programs. The first day of Big East women's basketball players. To look at your first half highlights. Good shooting from Seton Hall, keeping him in this game. Butler distributing the ball well on the offensive side. 10 assists on their 14 baskets. You'll see one of them here. Bride to Kristen Spolier. The only double-figure scorer in this contest, Scott, she has 11.
Yeah, one of a couple of three-pointers that Butler's maybe you mentioned for Seton Hall. They made 6 of 16. They only averaged 7 three-pointers per game. And, again, a zone defense like Butler deploys is going to give you some open three-point looks. And this is a nice catch and shoot as well by Atuso for the Bulldogs, the other three-pointer that they made.
Yeah, Butler made just 2. 6 of the 10 field goals for Seton Hall in that first half from behind the arc. That kept them in the game heading into the half. Just a 6-point game, which should have been a bit bigger in the margin for Butler if you're a fan of the Bulldogs. Seton Hall right there on the door knocking as we will start the second half for you right after this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East Way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Together!
That's the Big East Way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Getting set for the start of the third quarter. Butler and Seton Hall looking to get that all-important first victory in the Big East under their belts, with Butler awaiting St. John's on New Year's Eve a couple of days from now. Seton Hall will continue this road trip to close out 2019 when they travel to Xavier coming up on Tuesday afternoon. With Scott Sudakoff, I'm Will Haskett, getting set for this second half. Both teams, I think, Scott, kind of carry positives if you're a glass-half-full type of fan, coach, player, whatever, into this second half. Butler played really well in the first half, should probably be leading by more, and Seton Hall has done enough to stay close in a game where they still have yet to get anything from their best couple of players.
Yeah, if you're Butler and you revisit their keys to the game, stop transition, Seton Hall has just 3 fast break points. Then obviously stop Elmore and Samuels. They have a combined 4 points. So you've done that. And then the third key, though, take care of the basketball. Not been a positive with the 10 turnovers, leading to 13 Seton Hall points.
Butler sets it up to go right to Toure in the post to begin this second half. In the third quarter, scoring begins with a free throw from the freshman from Kennewick, Washington. Part of a really good freshman class for Kurt Godlewski. And a recruiting class that, when you look at it from an eligibility standpoint, included Genesis Parker, who sat out last year after transferring in from Cincinnati. Freshman Tenley Dowell, who unfortunately went out with a knee injury after the first game of the year, not available, as Bry blocks away that driving effort from Hoffchild.
I think the freshman there will learn from that and not go right into the trees as you did there.
Parker, wild drive, leads to transition, and the pull-up jumper from Johnson has Seton Hall within 5.
And I mentioned that key, by the way, stop transition for Butler to stop Seton Hall, and that's transition. That won't necessarily be a fast break point, I don't think, officially in the book. Still a transition bucket, fast-paced offense getting ahead of the defense there.
Interesting. Butler had a Tuso bring it up to Parker off the ball to start this possession. Picked up her dribble. Now Spolier looking for something. Beautiful floater down the lane, but too strong. Gets her own miss. Had it knocked out of her hands by Samuels, and then Butler commits the foul as Lewis came away from the scrum. Spolier wants to know what she has to do to get a whistle.
It'll be her second one here. Revisit the Seton Hall keys, rebounding. Coach Bozzella saying his team is a bad boxing out team. They only lost the rebounding battle by 2 in the first half, so I think he'll take that, especially with all the offensive boards they had.
Hoffchild about 5 seconds too late on the pass, and Butler in transition. Parker's able to draw the whistle against Lewis. and she will head to the free throw line.
The other key, the next key was the limit the live ball turnovers, and this one goes in the negative column for the Pirates there.
Bry was just wrestling with Samuels in the post for position and had easily cleared the front of her before Hofschild even thought about that pass. And the freshman over talking with her bench right now to try and settle things down is Parker. A 68% free throw shooter, misses the front.
That being said, it's only the second turnover that Seton Hall's had since the first quarter.
And an empty trip for Butler as Parker misses, but the save comes right back into her hands. Kurt Godlewski wants to run a set. Toure was left wide open for a moment. Got the pass late and probably forced the issue with Samuels on the scene to defend. Lewis lob deep. Samuels not once, but twice the charm for Shadeen Samuels, who led the Big East in scoring a year ago, scored over 20 a game, the preseason player of the year pick this year in the Big East. Missed 4.5 games with an injury and is still kind of working her way back into rhythm, but it has been a sluggish start in this one. Defense against Spolier, though, is strong. Bry receives it back, and Shea Bry doing what she does, the little thing. She's got 8 now for Butler as they match baskets. Now Lewis in transition. Pure.
Lewis, 3 points.
And I'm sure the Butler sideline is going to harp on those moments where you make a basket on one end, you should be back defensively, and Seton Hall still beating you up the floor and getting open shots.
They dare the shot from Toure, who's a 36% three-point shooter, but she misses. Now driving the other way, good ball movement. Johnson down the lane, pull up. That ball went halfway down, but it's rebounded, missed by Elmore through 2 defenders. And Anthony Bozzella is begging for a whistle.
Yeah, I see the frustration on Elmore's face as well after she missed that shot. Not sure because she missed it or because she wanted the foul, but a little perturbed.
Haven't had a dead ball in a while. These players are gassed right now. Another turnover by Butler. Seton Hall looking for its first lead of the game if they could get a 3. Samuels thought about it, and too much resistance applied by Atuso.
You had just maybe a half-step advantage on Atuso into her hip there to draw that foul.
Wholesale substitutions for both teams, as you see just a little bit too much of that right arm from Atosu. That ball tipped on the inbound. Through 2 defenders. Funes tried to muscle it through, and Spolier does a great job to save it into Parker. Tuso, entry pass to Kat Strong. Great find to Spolier across the way, but she couldn't make the 3. And Caceres is able to reset it. Parker has the whole lane in front of her, draws it in, but Strong couldn't do much with it off the nice entry pass. Seton Hall in transition. Park Lane underneath the defender, and Seton Hall has tied it at 37. Second time this game has been tied. It was 9-9 the last time. Again, Seton Hall has never led in the game. And Spolier was held by Johnson as she tried to get loose in the post.
Seton Hall right now being very aggressive, really pounding the floor with that transition offense, and Butler just trying to just kind of catch up, get back to the form that they had from really the first quarter when they got the 9-0 lead. That gave that enough cushion to ride it to this point, but
right through the defense. Kat Strong missed a wide-open Caceres and then drove into the body of Lewis and somehow spun it in for a chance at a 3-point play.
That's just making a strong play, just being stronger than the defender, lowering the shoulder a little bit, driving through, and getting a chance for a 3-point play.
6 points for Kat Strong as she misses the free throw. Now here come the Pirates. Park Lane trying to work quickly. Again finds Lewis in transition, but that one just a hair too strong.
Yeah, Lewis is getting up there, spotting up all alone, just time after time for those looks.
And Butler, you could almost say it's been like a bend but don't break type of day. They've built leads, given them up, but have never let Seton Hall get to the top of the mountain as Bry off a great entry from Spolier opens up a 4-point edge.
Spolier's passing has been terrific today. She only averages 1.8 assists per game, but you could fool me with the way she's dishing it today.
Lewis open again a miss. Butler defensively with some lapses on the perimeter, but it has not cost them the last 2 trips.
Yep, Seton Hall climbing to the top of the hill and starting to slide back down again.
Spolier fouled. I don't know if they'll get Lewis coming from the help side. They will. And the senior Kristen Spolier will have 2 free throws, but not until we take a timeout. A much-needed one. 2 really gassed teams giving it their all here in the third quarter, with Butler still clinging to its lead here in the third.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Butler trying to hold on against Seton Hall, a game in which they have never trailed. And trying to get some help in that last timeout by their third assistant, interim assistant coach, Whitney Jennings. You might recognize her. Well, she was wearing a uniform just a season ago. One of only 2 players in Butler history to score 500 or more points in consecutive seasons. Jennings filling a vacant assistant position for Kurt Godlewski's team this year, and no better person than a high-scoring point guard who understands the system to break in a lot of newcomers this year and help to sort of shepherd them into the program. But she's traded the sneakers for the high heels and has filled a role on this staff that just came aboard less than a month ago into this Butler program and was leading the charge in that timeout for Butler, trying to hold on. It's got to a 4-point lead here in the third quarter against Seton Hall that continues to make shots from the outside to make this one interesting.
It's also, to finish on that point, it's very beneficial to have a coach on the team that is not that far, obviously only 1 year removed, but not far removed from playing, that really can relate to the players a bit better. It might be tougher for a coach that maybe is 10, 15, 20 years removed from playing, that she understands what life is like as a student athlete this day and age for these players, and that's obviously got to be an added benefit for the Butler coaching staff.
Team high 12 points for Kristen Spolier with that first free throw. Good stat line across the board for Spolier today. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Whitney Jennings could tell you what it's like to guard some of the players on Seton Hall. She had to do it a year ago when these 2 teams split the season series. Park Lane finds Elmore right down the lane and missed a wide open layup. The rebound controlled by Falaxi. Out top, 3. As 3 straight misses from behind the arc for Seton Hall. They've gone cold and has allowed Butler to maintain the edge.
They're still 7 of 20 for the game.
Strong looking for Spolier. Good read coming across by Elmore to knock that one away. Last touch by the Pirates. Hard cut by Caceres right through the defender. No foul called. And Nida Caceres has another basket. Boy, Elmore read the screen coming to her, but may have just been fading away and couldn't draw the contact or get the whistle. And a quick spurt by Butler. It's an 8-0 run. Smith through 3 defenders. Caceres wasn't strong with that ball. Takes a knee right to the temple. She tried to hold on. The possession will keep it here, but Caceres is going to need to be tended to. Jasmine Smith came flying in and trying to, oh yeah, she is bleeding from right above her left eye. Watch the knee of Smith come in right here. Oh. Recoil there as well. That looked nasty live. Doesn't look any better when we show it to you again in slow motion. And Caceres down in obvious discomfort.
Redshirt junior and coming over to play college ball from Spain. Started her career at the University of Maine. Good Black Bears program in the America East Conference, but when they had some coaching changes, a lot of players from that program moved on, and Caceres, one of those, and Butler, the beneficiary of that.
Will tend to her. Toure will come back into the game and take her spot. And it is the way of life in modern college basketball, the Division I or really across division transfers in the program. In fact, there are 10 different Division I transfers between these two rosters with Butler and Seton Hall.
Can't imagine having a matchup with any more than that between the two teams. Looks like the officials are going to review the tape of that to see if there was anything malicious. I don't see how you could call something on that. Players just going for the ball. Unfortunate scenario. So it's I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably what I think they'll come out of there with. That just unfortunate circumstance. I don't think
the
there's
contact comes
unnecessary.
right here with the right knee coming in, and Smith's going for the ball.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be anything unnecessary. And jump ball is the call on the floor, and I think the possession was supposed to stay this way with Seton Hall. They're going this way, right? Yeah, Seton Hall.
So Caceres is headed to the locker room to be tended to, and we mentioned in that call it was loose ball was on the floor, and she just kind of gingerly went towards it. It allowed the scrum to happen, and it may keep the ball on this end of the floor where it looked like Butler was going to have another rebound and try and add to what is an 8-0 run and an 8-point lead. And the officials have now seen enough of it. Ed Sidlaski, Natasha Kamey, and Brandon Enterline are crew as assigned by the Big East for this one. And let's see what the call is. In fact, we'll get an explanation right here. So again, Butler in the midst of an 8-0 run. And Scott, what do they have to say on the conversation?
Just incidental contact going after the loose ball. So no foul call, no flagrant, nothing like that. Just players going after the ball, and that's what the officials will explain to the coaches. And I would assume that neither coach will have much of an objection. I mean, of course, Anthony Bozzella wouldn't have any objection. Kirk Godlewski, yep, you can see. Yep, look at that. A lot of respect there.
Just a different level of physicality when it comes to loose balls on the floor. It's, there's enough contact always that takes place. You could almost call anything a foul when it comes to it, but it's just one of those plays that kind of has that natural look. Beautiful instincts by Strong to deflect that entry pass away. But Seton Hall maintains, trying to snap this 8-0 Butler scoring run. Jackson, Park Lane, drops it off. Baseline, Elmore, flat jumper, but effective from 15 feet, and the run does end at 8 for Butler, and now Seton Hall will pick up with a little full court resistance. Spolier trying to get loose and was held by Jasmine Smith. Butler is in the bonus as that was the 6th foul here in the quarter for Seton Hall.
Butler, middle of the road as a free throw shooting team in the conference, 68.6% as a team, but they get there a lot. And they've made over 17 free throws made per game. That's 6 more than their opponents this season. And they'll obviously take that because that can be the difference in a lot of these close games, especially in the conference season.
That was the 13th free throw attempt by Butler here this afternoon. Seton Hall has shot just 3 free throws. Butler with a 7-point edge at the free throw line in an 8-point game. Strong got a paw in but couldn't knock it to a teammate. Spolier just ball hawking on the D, tied up as she took it away from Jackson, and now Butler has the ball.
And that's the aggressiveness that Butler needs. Mentioned that Butler needs to match Seton Hall's aggressiveness. We saw it with the jump ball where Seton Hall, got the possession on the alternating arrow going after it. And you had mentioned that Caceres kind of went hesitantly after, which caused the scrum per se. And now here you see Spolier. Now she's going after. She's diving after it, putting the body on the line, and alternating possession gets the ball back for the Bulldogs.
Parker tried to dribble her way through a triple team and gives the ball right back to the Pirates.
Yeah, Philoxy got a hand on it from behind and knocked it off her foot.
"13th Butler turnover. Could it lead to more points for Seton Hall? That ball unkind on the bounce. Samuels came away with it, but Spolier is going to be called for the foul, reaching in to take it away.
That would be her 3rd.
Fouls on 24 for the Bulldogs. Spolier, her 3rd, team's 3rd.
Only Butler player with 3, but that's an important one to take note of.
Spolier thought that was a jump ball. She's looking at the officials with 2 thumbs up saying, hey, that was a foul on me. That's a 3rd foul with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. That's something to watch out for now.
Philoxy tried to force it. Samuels couldn't keep it alive. Parker trying to get up court quickly. Got away with a carry, but flips it up and one.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. I think she got away with that with the carry there, and figured at that point all or nothing, and took it strong to the basket. We'll see the length of this full court drive. A little the hesitation dribble, maybe got a little bit high there, and continues on for 2.
The ear-high dribble looks awkward no matter
yeah.
whether it's legal or not. That one didn't look of the legal variety, but Parker is able to complete the 3-point play. Boy, blink and you miss it, Scott. It's an 11-point lead again for Butler. Remember, this game was tied at 37.
Yeah, both times the Seton Hall has battled back to tie this game. 1st quarter, now 3rd quarter. Butler's been able to zoom right back in front and take control.
3 from the corner, missed by Elmore. Trying to find her shot. We'll think about it again here. No. She'll whip it back across to Samuels. She gives it up. Corner 3 is completely missed by Smith.
So maybe this is where that don't get 3 happy mantra comes in now, because things were going down in the first half. Not as much here in the 3rd quarter. Seton Hall, you're only down by 11. You still got plenty of time. So try to attack the basket, draw some fouls on Butler. Maybe go after Spolier as well. Remember, she's got 3.
10 to shoot. Dangerous pass by Strong, completely across the defense. Knocked out by the Pirates with 8 on the shot clock. Toure will trigger the inbound. Bryce sacrificing the body. Spolier flips it up and in. Wanted contact. It was pretty good defense by Smith. Just a better shot made by Spolier, who now has 15.
There was definitely some contact. Spolier may have been the one to initiate it, though.
Look at the deflection in the hands by Toure. Butler has its largest lead of the afternoon, looking to add to it. Spolier.
Oh, I guess that's legal.
Knocked it up in the air, and they say it was tipped by Samuels. So Samuels made contact. That's the explanation given to the Seton Hall bench. 10 to shoot. And Bry is pushed from behind, and she'll head to the free throw line as Anthony Bozzella is not satisfied with the explanation. Look at this defense on the other end.
Pretty easy pass to read, trying to get to the weak side, and saving it inbounds as well, did Toure. That was just a heads-up play by Spolier in that instance. I mean, She went up for the shot, but realized that she was going to get swatted. Samuels tipped it, and she just kind of dropped it in front. And what's going to hurt? Pick it back up. If they don't call it, they don't call it, and she did, and now leads to free throws.
Shea Bry, who's averaging just 4 a game, but is the leading assist giver on this Butler team. Again, the ultimate teammate for Butler. And she's gotten into the scoring act in this one today. She's got 12. Seton Hall needs something to build on going into the fourth quarter, trailing by their largest deficit of the day.
A 17-2 run here.
Park Lane, double team, tried to kick it down. Bry there to knock it away. It is a season high for Shea Bry. She's one off of a career high with the dozen points today. And good defense there, forcing Seton Hall into a tough spot here. Johnson has to go quickly. 3 to shoot. Jackson floats it up. Strong put the hip into her and gets called for the foul. Have to make the call, and a little lazy effort there by Strong, who could have probably avoided the contact with the shot clock winding down, and it'll be free throws for the freshman Maya Jackson. High praise from Seton Hall head coach Anthony Bozzella, who called the young lady at the free throw line, Maya Jackson, one of the best freshmen he's ever coached. This is a guy who has turned around programs at LIU, Brooklyn, Iona, and then has brought Seton Hall to unprecedented success in his 6 previous seasons. To say it's one of the best freshmen he has coached in a 20-plus year coaching career is about as good of a comment you can make about a player.
So far today, she's knocked down a couple of three-pointers. Hasn't been to the free throw line all that often, though. I think that's attempts 8 and 9 on the season for her.
Makes 1 of 2. Brian Parker tried to combine to break the press, but Parker just threw it right to a face-guarded Strong at the horn. Banked in by Lewis. Another Butler turnover leads to 3 points for Seton Hall. And while it's an 11-point game, Scott, it's still something maybe Seton Hall can build off of heading into the fourth.
Yeah, strong run by Butler at the end there, that 17-2 run, but this three-pointer by Lewis gets the Pirates back within 11. So we head to the fourth quarter here at Hinkle.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Start of the fourth quarter, Butler leads at 54-43 here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi with Scott Sudakoff. I'm Will Haskett. Butler has led the entire way. Seton Hall rallied from a 6-point halftime deficit to tie the score at 37 in that just completed third quarter, but Butler a huge run to end the quarter. 4 straight, however, Seton Hall points give them a little bit of an edge as Butler just tries to close the deal here as we've got 10 minutes left to play. Scott?
Yeah, I mean, Seton Hall, again, just staying within striking distance because of the points off turnovers and the second chance points, having a plus 19 in those two categories. And Butler has made their hay, though, in the paint, scoring 28 points inside the painted area in this one. And three-point shooting was not there for Seton Hall in the third quarter as compared to what it was in the other two quarters, 2 of 8, and now 33% for the game. See what Seton Hall likes to do offensively. Again, they have the ability to get in the paint against this defense.
Samuels passed out of it. Jackson missed the three. Again, right now you're talking about 4 points from Shadeen Samuels, 4 points from Desiree Elmore. So 8 points from your two leading scorers as Butler turns it over for the 15th time, and a welcome sign for Butler as Nida Caceres, who had to exit with a gash over her left eye in that third quarter, is back on the floor for Butler with a bandage over that left eyebrow.
I wonder, maybe she got some quick stitches.
Oh, super glue is a magical thing.
Super glue.
We'll worry about the cosmetic look later. Whatever you can take to get back on the floor is up and under, and somehow that ball rockets out, but it's rebounded and put back by Alexis Lewis, who's had herself a fine afternoon. She's in double figures now with 11. That's her first 2-point basket of the game.
Allows Seton Hall to extend this pressure in the backcourt. That's a travel. I thought they were going to call it 10 seconds there, but she had just gotten it over in time, but then shuffled the feet to Caceres.
2 straight Butler turnovers, 16 now for the game. Seton Hall has a 12-point edge in points off turnover. They've converted those 16 turnovers into 18 points. And a big reason why they find themselves still alive in this basketball game. Johnson trying to find Samuels. There are 2 bodies shadowing her at all times in the post. Johnson got away with a double dribble. No, not too late. Never too late to make the right call, and after she made her move, easy call for the officials.
Yeah, Seton Hall on that possession, just a half step off all the way around on their passes, half second late, and it just kind of threw everything off there and led to that double dribble.
The Pirates begin this half with Desiree Elmore on the bench. You have to wonder how long Anthony Bozzella will keep both players from not playing together on the court. Parker steps into a three. That looked really good, but just missed. Ball tipped. Caceres able to save it.
Yeah, I love it. Caceres came out of the locker room, super glued or stitched up, and comes right back on the floor and has been involved in a lot of plays already.
Then Parker, a wild one-handed pass, gets her a quick trip to the Butler bench as Yumu Toure is back in for Butler.
Butler averaging just under 19 turnovers a game this season, but they've made up for it. You mentioned in the first half that opponents turned it over 21 times against them, so not as bad of a deficit there.
Lewis, a nice little flip over the defensive Cat Strong. She's got back-to-back buckets, and this lead is suddenly down to 7. Caceres, good recognition cross-court. Spolier, nice find to Strong. That should have been a foul, and the outside official won't make it. No, it'll be knocked out. Last touch by Seton Hall. I thought Samuels just completely cleared out the left arm of Cat Strong. Take a look here. Oh, yeah, just right across the wrist. So Seton Hall fortunate that wasn't a foul with Cat Strong heading to the free throw line. Another giveaway on the run out. Jackson in front of the pack. She had it knocked out of her hands.
Toure getting back defensively.
Spolier didn't set the way that she wanted to for that three-point shot. Caceres, beautiful clear out underneath. A good find from Spolier. And Caceres stops the bleeding. You see what I did there? Bry stays straight up against the drive of Jackson. And it'll stay here. She blocked it out of bounds.
Substitution, Jasmine Smith replacing number 5.
So yeah, I mean, it was a 17-2 run by Butler for the heart of that third quarter, and then Pirates able to bounce back 10-2 since.
Step back three, bottoms from Lauren Park Lane. A timeout by Seton Hall. That gets them within 6. And a very emotional head coach, Anthony Bozzella, comes out to greet his team as they continue to fight and rally in this one. Still just a 6-point lead in a game Butler's trying to hold on and win.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
4 Butler turnovers in this fourth quarter, allowing Seton Hall to come back and make it a game. 6-point deficit with 7 minutes to play here in this contest. With Scott Sudikoff, I'm Will Haskett. First Big East weekend game of the season. We'll ring in the new year in 2 days' time with another slate of action across the conference before the calendar flips. And every game becomes more and more important heading to Chicago in March for the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament. And Seton Hall trying to pull a rabbit out of its hat, Scott, here in this fourth quarter. This is a game where if you look at it in a number of different angles, they have no business walking out of Hinkle with a win, but Butler, enough self-inflicted wounds, especially here to start the fourth quarter. They have left the door open for Seton Hall to run right inside, grab a win, get on the bus, and get out of town.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates never led. Butler got off to that 9-0 start, led 18-10 after the first. Remember, they came back, tied this game up at 37 in the third quarter. And then that was the 17-2 run again by Butler to put the distance between them. But again, the turnovers from the Bulldogs in this game, now 18 that have led to 20 Pirate points. And Seton Hall has 15 offensive boards and 16 second chance points. So dominating in the turnovers and second chance points categories.
And Butler's only had 2 shots in this fourth quarter because of turnovers.
And then on top of that, your 2 leading scorers only have combined for 8 points today.
Caceres quickly doubled. Parker lucky to get a hand on it. Shot clock is down to 3. Caceres going to have to heave. Somehow got iron on that one, but again, a wasted possession it felt like for Butler. The redshirt seniors for Seton Hall have really picked up the slack. Lewis, who just gave the ball up, and Barbara Johnson on the court. And another senior, Shadeen Samuels, won it at the post. It's Lewis who goes to work again. And Alexis Lewis, now the leading scorer at 15 points, above her season average, and really waking up what has been a sluggish Seton Hall effort.
Started the game with 3 triples, and now 3 consecutive 2-point buckets.
Johnson commits the foul on Spolier. That's just the first foul on the Pirates here in the quarter.
You love, we brought this up in the first half, Anthony Bozzella saying about Alexis Lewis that he needs her to shoot better, perform. I mean, she's averaging 13.5 points per game. It's not as if she's not been scoring, but we've seen some better shooting for her today, especially beyond the 3-point line. She's answering when the coach, well, asked her to.
Caceres. Spolier, good fake off on that one, but that 3 is way off the mark. Butler now settling a bit as Parker disrupts, gets around Samuels, has a wide open Toure underneath the basket, who is fouled by Samuels and will head to the free throw line. Wow. Genesis Parker just keeping the defensive pressure on Samuels, and she had no help behind her.
Headed to the line for two is Toure.
It took a long time for someone to come help Samuels. Never really got there.
Toure, a good free throw shooter, nearly 80% on the year. Has played really well today. Hasn't shot the ball well, but has been very active offensively and defensively. She's now got 7 points. And any points that Butler can put on the board right now, I almost feel like they're just limping this performance to the finish line. What has been a solid afternoon up until this sloppy fourth. Smith kept the pivot foot. Johnson probing the Butler zone through 2 defenders, but no one boxing out Lewis, who streaks down the lane for the reset. She'll trigger another 3. She's been hot today, but not that time.
Oh, it gets said a lot, but when you play the zone defense, it is tough sometimes to box out rebounding. You got to be more proactive in finding a player to box.
Spolier found space. Caceres just a little bit short. Now the Pirates running. Park Lane, speediest on the court, finds Smith. She misses, but another second chance opportunity. It's Johnson's turn. Yes!
3 points for Johnson.
3-point game.
And that second chance isn't due to boxing out, really. It's just Seton Hall, again, just beating Butler up the floor. Bulldogs not ready defensively. And you get the second chance look on the three-pointer. Now, we have to see, though, can Seton Hall not only tie it up again, but once they get to that point, finally get over the hill.
Strong, that's an offensive foul. Easy call. Samuels got there in time. She lowered the shoulder and went right through the defender.
Her her fourth foul there.
And that leads to a timeout. Easy call for the officials. And in a critical moment of this game, nervous perhaps timing for Butler. They're clinging to a 3-point lead. Nitty-gritty time here in Hinkle.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Butler is led by as many as 15 points. They have led the entire game against Seton Hall, but a sloppy fourth quarter in which they have turned the ball over 5 times. They are just 1 of 5 shooting from the floor, including 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. And Seton Hall is within striking distance in a one-possession game late in the fourth quarter of trying to steal a victory in the first Big East showdown of the year between the Bulldogs and the Pirates. With Scott Sudikoff, I'm Will Haskett. Butler with a long look in the mirror in the huddle during that last timeout, trying to figure out, after that cat-strong offensive foul, where their offensive identity, Scott, is right now as a team, trying to get baskets in the most stressful part of this game.
Yeah, I mean, they're still shooting 50% for the game, but haven't been able to find the rhythm offensively that they had in the first half when they shot 57% in the first quarter, 60% in the second quarter, down to 46% in the third, and now just 1 of 5 here in the fourth quarter, and the turnovers continue to mount. Meanwhile, Seton Hall, they're shooting a better percentage beyond the three-point line than they are inside with the 2-point attempts.
Spolier fighting Samuels, fronter in the post. Lewis, though, pulls up over Cat Strong and gets another one to go.
Yeah, but she's been the MVP of this game. 7 of 12 from the field and has made 3 of 8 three-pointers, 17 points.
She was 3 of 21 from 3 in her last 3 games in a horrible shooting slump. She has been, as Scott mentioned, the best player on the floor for Seton Hall today. Pirates are within 1. Butler has had every answer in this game when Seton Hall has got back close or tied it. They're just milking clock right now as Strong is going to have to do something. Flips and turns and fires it in over Samuels. Big-time shot from a senior. Samuels goes right at Bry and got absolutely manhandled on her way to the basket. I don't know if they'll get Bry or Strong. It will be Bry calling for the foul, and Shadeen Samuels will have 2 free throws.
In the situation for Seton Hall, we've maybe harped on it a bit. Samuels, Elmore, combined 8 points in this game. You're down by 3 with 3 minutes left, and this is sometimes when your best players all of a sudden show up and turn it on, and if they do so, Seton Hall is going to, as we would definitely say, steal a victory in this one, having not led at any point.
Mopping up some perspiration underneath the basket, allowing Samuels a little longer wait. The preseason pick, player of the year in the Big East.
Still getting the rebounds with a 9.
You see the scoring has been off today. 2 of 6 from the floor. Good free throw shooter at 72%. Was playing her way back from an injury that cost her 4 games in the non-conference, but had a wonderful, efficient stat line last time out against Lafayette. Gets 1 of 2 there. Spolier comes in to get the rebound, and then Samuels fouls her. Again, neither team flirting with the bonus yet. That's just the 3rd team foul whistled against Seton Hall here in the fourth quarter.
Her 4th foul, though. So both she and Spolier have 4 fouls. Oh, no, they have Spolier for 3. I thought they had her. Nope, 3 is right. So 4th for her. Spolier still has 3. Remember, she got the 3rd with a couple minutes left in the 3rd. But you're not going to put her to the bench now with 3 minutes left.
Spolier looking for help. Touré's got to hustle this one across. Bry. That was a flip and a prayer, and now a timeout called by Kurt Godlewski as his team gets it across the timeline. And Butler will take 30 seconds to draw up a good offensive set because they have, in all fairness, Scott, been completely lost offensively in this fourth quarter.
They've only been able to muster up a couple of field goals made, 2 of 6 in this fourth quarter. Haven't, had half as many looks at the basket because of the turnovers that they've committed. What you're able to do here, they had all 4 timeouts left. Obviously, you sensed it, I sensed it. They were a bit out of rhythm getting the ball over the timeline. Now you get a chance to side out of bounds, reset things, 22 on the shot clock, and draw up one of your best plays. And we saw in the second quarter, they were really able to exploit Seton Hall along the baseline. Baseline cuts, backdoor was working well. Let's see if they go back to that.
They set 2 high screens for Parker to try and go to work, but Lewis came in, deflected it away. Parker forcing the issue there.
Say a bit of a force there.
Smith down the lane, draws the defense, and Samuels lays it in to tie it at 60.
All right, here we go. Seton Hall, 3rd time they've tied it. But can they get the next step?
Good fake by Parker to get her to cross. And Butler's huge run near the top of the standings last year in the Big East, this was still their real bugaboo. How to close out good teams late. Strong had it knocked out of her hands, and Butler will inbound with 10 on the shot clock. Both teams with plenty of timeouts remaining. Butler has 3 at their disposal, 2 for Seton Hall. Parker to trigger. Toure. Just got that ball down to find Bry. 4 to shoot. Parker, wild spinning effort, caught no iron. Lewis rebounds. Seton Hall looking for its first lead of the afternoon. It's Smith in transition. That was forced, but Samuels resets it out. And now the Pirates asking to slow things down as we're inside 2 minutes.
I mean, you can live with that shot because it was transition, it was open, and nobody in white is really ready to rebound yet.
No one wants to guard Park Lane as she goes right down the middle of the court, but left the floater short. Yes. Butler dodges a bullet there. Spolier. Toure may have given that ball up too quickly. Butler stagnant right now away from the basketball. Strong couldn't get the pass because it was poked away. 3-on-1 for Seton Hall. To the basket. Foul committed against Barbara Johnson, but the Pirates will have a chance to take the lead at the line.
Foul is on 2 for your Bulldogs. Genesis Parker, her second, team's third.
Ball got tipped in the air by Johnson, and then she runs the floor, and it ends up being a good foul in this instance by Parker to not allow the easy 2 and make her earn it from the free throw line.
82% free throw shooter gives Seton Hall its first lead of the afternoon. It comes with 67 seconds to play. Game was tied just 3 times prior to these 2 free throws. And now Butler, for the first time, will possess the ball trailing in this contest. Pressure has certainly slowed down Butler's ability to get up and get good shots. Strong. Free throw line. Another clutch jump shot by Kat Strong. And we're tied again inside a minute.
Well, what else would you want in the Big East opener to have this type of game here?
Fouls to give. Toure gives one of them against Park Lane, although Kurt Godlewski is not happy with it, saying to back up, play the drive, not the ball.
Yeah, that's the next foul will be free throws, while Seton Hall still has 1 to give.
Toure now listens to orders, backs off. Lauren Park Lane's going to wait till the shot clock gets within 10 to go. Samuels there for the screen. Trying to slip off of it, can't get anywhere. Park Lane, good fake. Johnson wide open, yes! The buzzer sounds for the shot clock. And a timeout given to Seton Hall. Or are they going to check it?
She looked like she was clearly behind that line, but the combination of Johnson and Lewis have been just terrific here today for Seton Hall. When your top 2 scorers, Samuels and Elmore, have basically been held off the board with a combined 10 points in this game. Johnson and Lewis, I believe, 39 combined points between the two after that three-pointer.
Johnson now with a game-high 18 after that third three-pointer made. There was not a timeout called by either team. The officials quickly stopped play. They wanted to check both the foot, which was clearly behind the line, and then also that she got the shot off in time, which I didn't think was really in question. But then in the scrum afterwards, Butler indeed asks for a 30-second timeout, and they can advance the ball for what now becomes a huge possession. Shot clock off the rest of the way. Butler down by 3 after Barbara Johnson, 5 consecutive points and an absolute ice water in the veins 3 as the shot clock expired.
So both teams will be left with 2 timeouts, and Seton Hall does have a foul to give, which I think in this situation you want to hang on to with 28 seconds if you can, because you get to that situation where you're up by 3 with 10 or seconds left, that's when you might want to utilize that foul to stop a possible 3-point attempt. And we've seen the possession arrow come into play a lot in this game, and that's going to be in Butler's favor as we stand right now as well.
How about the seniors for Seton Hall rising to the occasion? Desiree Elmore, who's the leading scorer on this team, I do not believe has played in the fourth quarter. She's been on the bench much of this way, as Alexis Lewis and Barbara Johnson have carried much of the load. Butler does not need a 3. They can find a good 2, but right now, no strong effort. Toure boxed out in the corner. Quickly cross-courts it. Bry. Now it's a 3 is going to be more necessary. Spolier. Nowhere to go. Flip that pass around. Lucky to get it back. Heaves it up through 2 defenders. Wild shot. Bry fouls Samuels, and Butler all out of sorts as Seton Hall's going to walk the other way to try and ice this one at the free throw line.
I'm surprised at an instance that Butler, as things were breaking down at about the 10-second mark, didn't use, and now I'm looking over at Coach Godlewski, and he's saying use a timeout there in that situation because they had 2 left to use, and now 1 free throw. This game's going to be over, and Seton Hall will steal a win.
Samuels, a 72% free throw shooter, makes it a 2-possession game.
Of course, they'll use the timeout, one of the 2 timeouts they have left, to be able to advance the basketball here. But it's going to have to be a miracle
way
finish
to start the season. And look at Anthony Bozzella. There's no one happier in the building right now than the coach of this team, rallying all the way back. That full court pressure really taking Butler completely out of offensive rhythm here in this fourth quarter. They have doubled up their turnovers on field goals made, Scott, here in this fourth quarter. 6 turnovers for Butler, just 3 made field goals, and barring an unforeseen miracle right here, this is going to be one that stings for Butler all the way into Tuesday's all-important home matchup against St. John's.
And this is going to end up being Seton Hall's closest, or maybe second closest victory of the season, but I got to think it's going to be the ugliest one so far the year, where you don't really care, though, in conference play on the road. You just come out the other side with the win. And, yeah, barring a miracle right now for Butler.
Seton Hall says no fouls, and Park Lane comes in and gets a hand on it, and the comeback is complete for the Pirates. Seton Hall swipes a victory away from Butler, which led for the game's first 38.5 minutes. And the Pirates walk out of Hinkle 1-0 in Big East play with a gutsy come-from-behind 67-62 victory. Scott, that was a really impressive come-from-behind tenacity effort for a team that was down by 15 at one point in time.
Yeah, to only take the lead in the final minute or so and come back and take this victory. 3-point shooting was huge, and especially the play from Barbara Johnson.
Such a clutch shot and several heroic moments in this one as well. That's a happy bunch heading to the bus as Seton Hall wins it by 5, and more still to come here from Hinkle after this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
A gutsy come-from-behind victory. Seton Hall gets it done 67-62, the final in this one, down by as many as 15, trailing the entire game. Alexis Lewis and company get the victory here this afternoon. Walk me through some of the huddles, especially in the third quarter. You guys are down 15, what it took to come back in this game.
I mean, the huddles were all the same. It was, we know who we are, we know how we want to play. We just had to make sure we focus on that. We knew we would come out with the victory as long as we stayed focused.
I know the shots haven't been falling for you a bit of late. What was the difference today? You, the rest of the seniors, really stepped up when you needed to hit shots today.
I think, like we always say, our offense runs through our defense. So, the first quarter, the first half, our defense wasn't going, which means our offense wasn't going. Second half, we picked up our defense. When we pick up our defense, our shots start falling, and we're who we are.
I don't think there's anybody happier in the building than your coach in that fourth quarter. You're coming back. What does a win like this do to get it on the road, first game of the year, to come from behind like you guys did?
I mean, it means everything. It just lets us know that no matter what adversity we face, we are always able to come back on top as long as we play within ourselves and play together as a team.
Well, your three-point shooting today, such a huge part of this contest. Really early on, you guys' ability to make shots, a big part of the difference in coming back in this game. How big was it to hit those shots early, get the confidence going?
I mean, it's very big for us. We're a three-point shooting team, and we focus when we need to make our shots, and we definitely made those shots today.
What do you guys take away from this performance that you can carry into the game at Xavier in 2 days?
Like I said, adversity doesn't mean anything. As long as we stay within ourselves, we know we always have a chance to be the victor.
Congratulations. Wonderful victory.
Thank you.
What a performance in this one. Scott, I mean, what can you even put into words how one win at the beginning of the year, what it can mean to a team, especially to come in here to be down the way that they were, to get the victory in the first game of the season, absolutely huge.
Yeah, just the way it really is a big confidence boost, I would think, for a team to not only win a game like this where your top two scorers are just not having a good day, to be down all game, to fight back a couple of times and slide back down the mountain a couple of times, to then come back late, get a couple of seniors to make some big shots. Alexis Lewis, we just talked to. Barbara Johnson was huge at the end there as well. So I think for the Pirates, it's going to be, as I mentioned, an ugly victory, but ugly victory on the road in conference. You don't care. You're happy you're 1-0. And, I mean, for Butler, it's a tough pill to swallow because this is a game that was an issue last year, finishing games. This is a game that you need to win if you're Butler. I think plain and simple. Absolute gut punch for Butler that squanders an opportunity to go to 1-0 in the conference, but it's Seton Hall with the first victory of the year in the Big East. For our entire crew and Scott Sudakoff, I'm Will Haskett. So long from Hinkle Fieldhouse. What a rally for Seton Hall. First win under the belt, and oh so sweet it was down the stretch.